Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day, our recitation, Gauri Mahalla Panjwa. Tum Har Sete rate santo, nibahe leho, moko purkh bidate, od pahchavo date rahao. तुमरा मरम तुमाही जान्या, तुम पूरन पुरख बिदाते, राखो शरण अनाथ दीन को, करो हमारी गाते। तरण सागर बोहित चरण तुम्हारे, तुम जानो अपनी बातें, कर कृपा जिस राखो संगे, तेते पार पराते। ईत ओत प्रभ तुम समरथा, सब किछ तुमरे हाथे, ऐसा निधान देओ मोको, हर जन चले हमारे साथे। निर्गुण्यारे को गुण कीजै, हर नाम मेरा मन जापै, संत प्रसाद नानक हर भेटे, मन तन शीतल तरापे। निर्गुण्यारे को गुण कीजै, हर नाम मेरा मन जापे, संत प्रसाद नानक हर भेटे, मन तन शीतल तरापे. This is the concluding verse. Nirgunyare ko gun kijai, har naam mera man jape, sant prasad nanak har pete, man tan seetal trape. Nirgunyare ko gun kijai, ennoble me with virtue. May my mind realize the self within. Har naam mere man jape. And for that, says Nanak, I realize the self through the grace of the Sant, the Gur. And it is only then that my mind and body are satiated, rested. Sant prasad nanak har pete, man tan seetal trape. So the mind and the body. Trape comes from tripti, satisfaction. So this passage really is the asking of spiritual wisdom from the principle of gur, which is the principle of knowledge. Tum Har Sete rate santo. Here the Gur is being addressed as a Sant. A Sant, literally one that is shant, peaceful, equanimous, a mind in which the waves of thoughts are calm, where visibility, where the inner environment is not turbulent, where visibility is long and clear. That is the Sant, one who has controlled the senses. So the appeal to the Guru as the Sant, and he says, Nibahe leho, moko purkh bedate, od pochao date. So he's saying, you have found union with the self. Tum har sete rate. In other words, you're absorbed, you're colored, you're soaked with the love of the self. Rate. There is an element of wetness to this word rate. Is to be colored, dyed. So the Guru is saying, Tum har sete rate santo. You are absorbed, soaked in union with the self. And therefore, O Date, O benefactor, Bring me along. Nibahe leho moko. Bring me along. Purkh bedate or puchavo, so that I'm enabled to reach that state of supreme consciousness, which is Purkh bedate, who's the master of destiny. So we see here that within the Sikh tradition, the Guru is not only the source of spiritual knowledge, but is also the living receptacle of divinity. And therefore can become the object of worship. And the Guru is the guide and the benefactor on the inner journey of consciousness. And that is what the Guru Arjan is seeking on our behalf. Tumra maram tumahi janya, the mysteries of the consciousness, you alone know. Tum puran purkh bedate, because you're the embodied perfection of that consciousness. You alone know the mystery. And the request is, Rakho saran anath deen ko, karo hamari gate. Karo hamari gate, find me release from bondage. You know the mysteries of this consciousness. In other words, you are the one who can lead us. And therefore, Rakho saran anath deen ko, shelter me, the orphan and the hapless. And in the previous passage, if you recall, we spoke about orphan, the idea of being spiritually orphaned, which means typically the word orphan indicated the lack of a parent, usually the father. And here the Har self is referred to as the father and the mother. So when the Guru is saying, I'm an orphan, he's speaking on behalf of us to say that we live in Haume consciousness that is not aware of its parentage. That's why it is orphaned. And for that reason, impoverished, deprived of the love, the affection, and the guidance of the parent. So the Guru says, find us release from bondage of Haume consciousness, which is holding us back. Taran sagar bohit charan tumare, tum jano apni bate. Again, you alone know your secrets. You know the passageways through which we have to go. And we are going to hold on to your charan, your feet. So the feet of the Guru embody divine qualities. So this is a figure of speech. In the Indian cultural tradition, spiritual tradition, the feet are supposed to carry the virtues of God. So that is why the feet are so important here, the Guru's feet. So he says, Taran Sagar Bohit, for me to cross over the ocean of existence, which is a figure of speech for cosmic consciousness, I want to cross over from the restrictive Haume consciousness to cosmic consciousness, which is qualitatively different. You are the ship, your feet are the ship. What that means is, because your feet are the embodiment of divine virtue, what we need is virtue. That will ferry us across the ocean of consciousness. And so that is the benediction that Guru Arjan asks for. Kar kirpa jis rakho sange te te par parate. So it is a matter of kirpa, grace. And with the guidance of the Guru, one navigates the way to the other bank, meaning to that state of consciousness. Because Eet oot prabh tum samratha, sab kuch tumare hathe. Again, the same notion that we saw in the previous passage, that you, the self, are the controller. Everywhere is the wisdom of the self. Eet oot prabh. And O all-powerful one, the Guru is saying, you are the controller. The fate of the world is in your hands. Sab kuch tumhare haath. So this is also indicative of submission and surrender. If you want guidance from the Guru, then you need to surrender to the guidance of the Guru. Aisa nidhan deho moko, har jan chale hamare saath. So the request is to be gifted with the knowledge, the treasure, knowledge as treasure. Grant me that treasure, he says, which will forever stay with me, the wisdom. So that is what we go to the Gur for, to get that treasure, that nidhan. Aisa nidhan deho moko. Give me that treasure. Chale hamare saath. That will always stay with you. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.